Hello, welcome to Light Up, a platform where we get to have interactions, conversations about ways in which we can educate, help build interactions, and really contribute to a deep understanding and enriched understanding of our children as we help them to grow, to thrive, to become better citizens. Today I'm going to talk about an interesting kind of thought that I picked from friends when they were having a conversation. So I somehow picked the question and thought, yeah, maybe I bring this question to you and then we can talk about it, and then you can take the question, do an introspection and say, maybe this is something that's worth exploring. So the question was, how do we use our professions as parents to really educate our children on everyday living, on character building, on values, on professionalism, ethics, name it, anything. How do we use our professions to really educate and build our children as they grow and thrive? And it actually got me thinking. At least looking from a perspective here in Uganda, and for me it's more an exploration. I don't know how much parents here really take the time to have conversations with their children about the work that they do, and then through those conversations that they can show them how impactful their work is to their society, to the communities, to the people in general. And I went ahead and actually tested this. You know, part of me has been doing it, but now I did it with intent because then my antennas were up to see, let me see the reaction, let me see whether they take an interest. And of course, one of the struggles that I have to give you as a forewarning is that when we talk about our work to our children, it can be pretty boring. Really, they are less interested. For most of the time, they're really not interested. So you have to really think about, how am I going to talk to my child about my work? You know, so you have to kind of dress it in a way that captures their attention, that captivates their interest, that brings them to a point to even ask questions, that they're now curious about what it is that you do. So for me, the central question would be, if you ask questions to them, friendly questions, and you have to think about the environment within which you're going to have such a conversation, then that might help. For example, if you ask your daughter or your son, hey, do you know what I do for a living? They might say, yeah, I know you're a lawyer or you're a policeman or whatever. Then follow up with the question, yeah, I know. You know, I'm a judge, I'm a mechanic, but do you know what I do really, what that work entails? Most importantly, how does my work impact society? How does it change society? How does it help society? So if a lawyer went out and had that conversation with a young person, with their son, with their daughter, as a lawyer, as a legal practitioner, I'm telling you, they're going to take a keen interest, because you're going to start showing them the colors of how your work impacts society every day, how you deal with bringing down injustices within society, how you help us to keep a moral compass within society as a legal practitioner. If a doctor talks about their work, this young person might be motivated to understand that, yes, my mother or my father studied neurosurgery, or they studied health, and they practice, they see people every day, but they make people feel better. And beyond medicine, they give people hope. You know, they put a smile on the faces of people that they treat. You know, they provide hope. A young person begins to see the value in what you do. And that might be a motivator for them, one, to want to follow in your footsteps. Number two, to understand the value of work and the world of work. That it's not about what I do, the skill set that I've mastered and that I do it every day, but beyond what I do, something happens. Because if a mechanic is not there, a lot of things can unravel, but if a car mechanic is there and my car is running, and when it has a problem he's there to fix it, that alone changes the world within which they live, within which we live, within which my child, my son, my daughter lives. So they begin to see the organic nature of how society moves and how our work impacts that exact society, the society within which they're growing and thriving. So my suggestion is this: take time to think about how your work impacts society, how your work impacts the young people, peers to your children, and then have conversations with your children about the work that you do. On the one hand, it will help them to understand where they're headed, that whatever they choose to do in their life, with their lives, in their careers and profession, they might now, or they might begin to think, how do I really want to impact society? That's a good motivator for a young person to choose a career, you know? On the other hand, they might begin to see the values and the ethics that you really uphold when you're doing your work. And that alone shapes the way they take themselves, carry themselves, and the things that they want to emulate from their parents, and they want to also mirror as they grow up and strengthen. So when we talk about character building, you can use your profession as a canvas to help young people understand the ethic of working, the value of providing a service in our society, to be a civil servant in our society, to play your part as an adult, that you must amount to something, and whatever it is that you're going to do in your society, in this world, must have a positive impact in this society. And I think if you look at it using that lens and you look at it from that point of view, the young person might gain a lot, but they might react in the way that you would hope that they would react. That it's going to teach them something, it's going to give them a canvas, they're going to be motivated, and that it's going to instill an idea, a thought in their head. And whatever they do with that information, whatever motivation that drives them to do, I'm sure it will be a positive, good thing. And that will be a plus on your part as a parent, as a guardian, that you've done something that directly impacts their lives and informs them of how they would want to live their lives in the near future when they become adults themselves. Thanks for watching. I hope you can try this out. I hope you can share this information or this thought with friends, and then we see what happens.